Chapter 24. How Argives and Don Galvanes and Olivias arrived at the court of King Lusart. King Lusart, as he was a great hunter when affairs of more consequence to his state did not occupy him, went frequently to hunt in a forest near Windsor. The forest, being well kept, was stored with beasts of chase, and he always went out in his hunting apparel, provided with all things needful for the sport. In this equipage, going one day near the great road, he saw 3 armed knights and a damsel on their way, and sent a squire to call on them. When they came near, the king knew Don Galvanes, and embraced him, and bade him welcome. The other knights he courteously received, for he was the man in the world who with best good will received all errant knights. "Sir," quoth Galvanes, "you see here my nephew Argaze, and I present him to you as one of the best knights in the world." "Certes, gentle sir," said Lusart, "I am greatly beholden to you for this coming." And with that he embraced the prince. Then, recollecting the third, Sir Olivias, it is long since we have seen you, and I do not willingly let so good a knight be absent." "Sir," quoth Olivias, "mine own troubles have kept me from your sight and service, nor am I yet free from them." And then he told the king how the Duke of Bristol had slain his cousin. Thereat was Lusart moved to sorrow, for he who was slain had been a good knight. "Make your appeal in my court," said he, "and the Duke shall answer it." Then they proceeded towards Windsor, relating as they went how they had saved the damsel from the fire, wherein she should have been burnt for Galer's sake. The news of their arrival soon reached the queen's palace, to the joy of all, but chiefly of Olinda. She, instantly leaving the chamber, went to Malbia. "Are you not rejoicing at your brother's coming?" "Oh yes," quoth Malbia, "for I love him dearly." "Then ask the queen to send for him, that you may see him, and those who love you may take part in your pleasure." Brisenda at this entreaty sent for the new-come knights. Right glad was Argaze of this summons, and leaving the queen's converse as soon as might be, he seated himself between his sister and his mistress. But his eyes were so fixed upon Olinda, and his answers to Maliba so vague from the purpose, that she soon saw her brother's case, and to give him opportunity of talk, called to her uncle Galvanes. "Come," said she, "I would talk with you in yonder window, that Argaves may not hear our secrets." Be sure the lovers lost not their time, and it was accorded between them that Argaves should remain in this court with Amadis, if his cousin so advised him. By this time the knights were summoned to the table. They found the board spread with choice foods, and Lusart bade them to be seated with other knights of great worship. While they were placing the napkins, 2 knights entered the hall and knelt before the king, and the one asked, "Sir, is Amadis of Gaul here?" "I would he were," replied Lusart. "So also would I," quoth the knight, "who needs his assistance." "Who are ye?" "Angriot of Astravas, and this is my brother." When King Arban of North Wales heard that, he rose from the table, and talking to Angrigote, who was still kneeling by the hand, raised him up and said, "Sir, do you know Angrigote?" "No," quoth Lusart, "I never till now saw him." "Certes, sir, they who know him hold him for one of the best knights in your land." "Gentle sir," quoth Lusart, "pardon me if I have not honored you to your desert. It was because I knew you not. Be sure you are welcome, and that with heart. Where knew you Amadis?" Angrigote then related what had passed between them, and his overthrow. No sooner than he had made end than Ardian the dwarf arrived, and saluted the king in the name of his master Amadis. "Where did you leave him?" "Alive and well. But if you would learn more, let me see the queen, for to her is my bidding." "We will not remain ignorant for that," quoth Lusart, and forthwith he sent to call Brisenda, who came with 15 ladies into the hall. There were those present who blessed the dwarf for this sight of their mistress. "Lady," then said the dwarf, "your knight humbly salutes you, and sends to say that he has found his brother." And then he told the whole chance, and that they would set forth as soon as their wounds were healed. So glad was the king thereof, that he requested and commanded all who were there not to depart before their arrival, for he would hold most honorable court that might be. They willingly assented, and praised him for so much for much and praised him much for the design. And Lusart also desired the queen to collect about her the fairest and noblest damsels, that for their sake the more good knights might be drawn to Windsor.